finally see the Knights of Ren in action in Episode 8, we've got the scoop on all things Ren on today's Nerdist News. Before we start, I know some of you are allergic to spoilers, so I want to tell you up front that this whole episode is going to be chock full of all kinds of Episode 8 spoilery goodness. So before we kick this speeder bike into gear, now's your chance to pause this episode and come back December 16th, 2017. Still here? All right. Now this week, Making Star Wars got their hand on a juicy new Episode 8 rumor, courtesy of fan sightings on the set in Ireland, specifically on the shoreline at Malin right around sundown. Already the makings of what's sure to be an epic battle. These fans saw a group of 7 men dressed in black, all wearing helmets resembling medieval knights with weapons. Making Star Wars is assuming these men in black aren't members of an elite government agency, but instead, yep, the Knights of Ren. Woo! Allegedly, the fans were able to witness both Rey and Luke Skywalker on Ahch-To, the mysterious island Rey found Luke on in the end of Episode 7. Costume-wise, Rey no longer wears her vest, leaving her in her tunic, which might give her costume a little more of a Skywalker-y feel. Next, Kylo Ren and the probable Knights of Ren show up with Kylo at the helm. Also, it's important to mention that Kylo is going maskless in this scene. He does, however, have the same saber and costume as he did in Episode 7. As Kylo approaches, he duels Rey and they fight alongside the cliff. The sun is now totally down, and the group of fans speculated that Kylo is instigating the fight because Rey disgraced him in Episode 7. While the kids are fighting, the Knights of Ren go for Luke Skywalker. One knight with an axe tries to fight Luke and ends up force pushed to his death. More on this a little later though, because immediately after Luke takes care of him, he ignites his lightsaber, which was green, at least at the time of filming, denoting that he's using his Return of the Jedi saves. Luke then proceeds to dole out that Jedi power and takes out each and every knight one by one. Meanwhile, Rey and Kylo battle up the cliff, and then she straight up disappears. Maybe she walks over to the other side, or maybe she escapes, we aren't quite sure yet, but she definitely disappears from the fight. After casually taking out every Knight of Ren, as you do when you're a badass Jedi Master, Luke calmly approaches Kylo, presumably to kill him, but instead allows the young Solo to retreat. Luke seemed pretty calm in the scene, so it's safe to say Rey wasn't killed in the battle. So what happened? First of all, what is the deal with the Knights of Ren? What is the deal with the Knights of Ren? Where were they during Episode 7, and why are they back now? The Force Awakens implied that the Knights of Ren hunted down all of Luke's Padawans at his Jedi school, and we know we've seen at least one of the knights mentioned in this report before, specifically the one holding the battle axe. We first caught a glimpse of him in Rey's Force vision. So is Luke force-chucking him to his death in an act of revenge for wiping out his students? If so, that seems like a pretty huge murdery character beat for Mr. Skywalker. Although I disagree. If anybody killed all my students, I would for sure murder the shit out of them. Which brings us to a question. Where does this scene fall in the movie? It's obviously a major fight, but is this going to be a midpoint action sequence or the beginning of the last act showdown? We're hoping it's more of the former and that we didn't just have the finale ruined for us more than a year in advance. I mean, it might make the most sense to be a midpoint battle if the film follows the pattern of Empire Strikes Back, which would mean Rey and Luke will do their training before joining up with Finn and Poe for a grand finale. But, that being said, it's not unusual of Star Wars climaxes to end up in a lightsaber face-off between 2 or 3 people, so there's definitely a chance that this could be part of the final fight. Since the end of this scene shows Kylo Ren running inside a mysterious old building, this could just be the beginning of the epic final showdown in the ruins of an ancient Jedi temple. At the very least, we know there's a lot more to come inside, maybe even a "No Rey, I am your cousin, brother, super young emo uncle" moment. That's creepy. But what do you guys think this all means? Is this the start of Episode 8's epic final battle, or just a major midpoint mega duel? How the heck did Kylo Ren and his squad find Rey and Luke anyway? And what have the Knights of Ren been up to? What'll go down inside that temple? Let's discuss. Kylo Ren.
Yeah, that's me.
So jealous that works for your name.
I changed it everywhere.
What's Because Science about today?
So today on Because Science, we're figuring out how a certain superhero in Captain America Civil War makes a very large transformation. I know the physics of it, and it's very complicated, but hopefully it'll be fun. They get to shrink me down, and I get really big. I sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's Wonka vision, that's what it is.
Hashe Wahemo. That's Wonka washed backwards.
Sweet, all right guys, check it out over at Nerdist.com.